My first guest tonight is, of course, an Academy Award-winning actress whose latest project is the brand new movie Sylvia, which opens in select cities next Friday. Please welcome Gwyneth Paltrow. Man, you light up a room. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I love doing your show.
Well, thank you. Thanks for being here. And, you know, it's funny because you've been away for a while. You've literally been living in London.
I have for a while.
For how long?
Well, on and off. I mean, I go back and forth, but I've been there a lot.
But it's kind of almost like you haven't been part of American, like you don't know what's been going on here, American pop culture.
I honestly have no clue.
You have no clue?
It's embarrassing because I see sort of covers of magazines. I have no idea who people are, and
right.
It's bad.
Let me bring you up to speed. Arnold Schwarzenegger is now the governor of California.
What?
Yeah. It's very good you stopped by here. Ben and J-Lo, that did not work out.
Oh, my. Wow.
Yeah. And this show has become the most popular show on television. And we don't know what happened. It just took off.
That is not surprising.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for playing along. Now, I understand that you threw a bachelorette party recently.
I did.
For a friend of yours, but it almost sort of got you into some trouble with the tabloids?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the paparazzi sort of stalk me wherever I go.
I know what it's like. I'm like, no! And they're like, who are you? And I'm like, leave me alone! And they're like, we're not following you!
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, but you are, I mean, they just, it's, in a way, it's a perverse sign of your success, but they just love to follow you everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I have the greatest life in the world, and it's a totally, like, first world problem, and I shouldn't complain about anything, but when there are men, like, following you everywhere and running you off the road in cars, it can be kind of
scary
a
and
high
weird.
Price to pay.
Right.
But anyway, so I was throwing this bachelorette party, and we were doing yoga. This is one of my best friends from, like, junior high. I was getting married, so we were going to do yoga and a luncheon and give a lingerie. So I thought, oh, wouldn't it be great and funny as a party favor? I'll get these little bags, and, you know, I'll go to, like, the hilarious, like, sex shop around the corner from my house and get, like, you know, a little penis that jumps across the table and, like, funny things for the bag.
There's a penis that can jump across the table?
Yeah, you wind it up and it goes hop, 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 like that. Like one of those Tweety birds or something.
But a little different than a Tweety bird. I've never heard of that. Okay, I have. So anyway, you go to get like a wind-up hoppy penis.
So I got, you know, some like really silly things like lollipops and stuff. And then, of course, the paparazzi photographed me coming out of the store.
Right.
So, which, of course, my mother will now be thrilled about. And
were you literally holding bags overflowing? What if you dropped your bag and penises were hopping all around you, trying to pick them up? No. Doing, 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 doing. Gwyneth, come back, doing, doing.
Oh my God.
So that didn't go over too well with them.
No, and my assistant was with me, and poor thing, like she's from a really, you know, proper family in Georgia, and so it was not good all the way around.
No, and also even when you, I mean, I guess you say like I'm buying it for a friend, but that's what,
like, yeah, right.
That's what everybody
you know
says when they're caught. It's like, it's for a friend, you know, so it's not like that gets you out of it.
Although, like, what am I gonna do with 6 hopping penises, you know what I mean? Like,
I have too much respect for you to say anything. I'm going to move on. Now, so you're living in London, and I swear to God, because I check out the tabloids every now and then, even though I shouldn't, but I see pictures of you riding like a Vespa scooter.
yeah.
So that's how you get around in London part of the time?
It's how I get around. It's a great way to get around the town, because, you know, the drivers there are much more civil. It's not like New York where people just take you out left and right. I mean, it's sort of nicer, and, you know, the streets it goes slower, so I feel a bit safer.
Also, like, a big car in England is the size of, like, a toaster oven.
Yeah.
You know, like, their SUVs are like these tiny little things you get into, and they're like, they're practically, they run on the same engine as the wind-up penis, you know?
So does my scooter, basically. It's not like it's this high-powered motorcycle. It's like 50 cc. It's basically like a hairdryer with wheels, and it just kind of, it goes like 25 miles per hour.
It pushes you along, but you can get away with that there. If you, some people, I think, make the mistake of they get the really cool Vespa scooter and they bring it here, and they try and drive around like, you know, on the West Side Highway in the Vespa scooter. That isn't happening. No, another driver just has to look at you, and your car is just, your little Vespa is just flattened. So don't bring that thing here.
I will not.
Do you wear a helmet when you?
Oh, yeah.
That's good, because you can be anonymous, right?
That is also a great part of it, because I can get on and just scoot around and nobody knows who I am, and it's good.
Don't put a sticker on your helmet that says, "I am Gwyneth Paltrow." That would defeat the purpose of it. But it must be nice. You can get on that thing, put down the goggles, and then you're anybody else. Did people ever, like, cut you off or be rude to you, and you take off the helmet, and they're like, "Oh, my God"?
No, I'm a very timid driver on my scooter. I go very slowly, and much different to how I drive in my car in New York.
When you're a maniac.
I am kind of a maniac.
Are you really?
It's like the one place I kind of get my aggression out is when I'm driving.
Yes,
you know, so.
I believe in that. I believe that that's what a car is for.
It's very cathartic.
It's to channel your rage, isn't it?
I agree.
I'm so mad right now. I'm going to get in my car and... I've heard, I don't know if it's true, that you absolutely love karaoke.
That is true. I think it's hilarious.
Now, see, that's a fine line. Do you start to think it's hilarious? But because you're actually a good singer, there are some people that get up and they start doing it as a joke. I'd be one of those people. And I'm doing it as a joke, but then I become taken with the sound of my own voice. And 9 songs later, I'm like, no, just one more. And do you ever see people fall into that trap around you?
I have seen that happen.
Yeah.
It's really funny with karaoke because no one wants to go first, and every time you decide, oh, let's all go sing karaoke, or, you know, you think this is going to be the worst party ever because no one will start doing it.
Right.
And then as soon as like 1 or 2 people go, and then everybody else starts going, then you cannot get people off the microphone.
Have you ever thought of buying your own karaoke machine?
Well, I've thought about it, but then I'm just afraid it would become one of those gadgets you buy that just sit in the corner of the room, and then, you know what I mean? It's so fun to kind of have the novelty of the karaoke thing as opposed to, like, it's just in a pile of junk in the basement and you never get it out.
Also, there may be nothing sadder than someone coming into your house, they hear something in the basement, they go down, and you're there alone. The end of the rainbow, you know. That wouldn't be good. Let me ask you about the movie Sylvia, which is based on the life of Sylvia Plath.
Right.
Obviously, this is a heavy subject.
Yeah.
And did you have to learn a lot about Sylvia Plath before you?
I did, actually. I'm so happy that I'm in this movie that I really love, and it's been a long time since I feel like I've been in something that I'm super proud of, and I worked really hard on all the research and stuff like that, and she had a pretty interesting, complex life.
Right. Well, tortured and...
Pretty tortured. It didn't end well for her.
No. Did you deal with anyone in the family, or, you know...
No, more friends, sort of more of her friends. I spoke to a couple of her close friends who gave me a lot of insight into the kind of person that she was and how to play her and stuff like that.
I know we have a clip here from the movie. What do we need to know to appreciate what's happening here?
Well, it's sort of, her husband's left her, and she's kind of losing in the process. She's on the slippery slope down of losing her mind, and she's over at her very close friend's house, played by Jared Harris, and she's sort of explaining her situation.
Now let's take a look at this clip from Sylvia.
Okay.
That would be, I would think, that's got to be emotionally draining to work on a movie like that.
It was, but it was really rewarding as well. But yeah, it was hard.
Do you find when you do a movie like that that's got to be wrenching that you almost want the next project to be something lighter, to sort of almost cleanse the palate?
Yeah, that is how it works a bit. You do want to do something that's a bit more fun and...
Buddy comedy. Huh?
Right
you and me. She's a street cop. He's a goofball.
I would love it.
Yeah, that would be the worst mistake you ever made. I can just see you telling your agent, maybe, no! Stay away from that guy. Sylvia opens in select cities next Friday. You are one of my favorite people to talk to. Thanks so much for coming and seeing us again. Gwyneth Paltrow, Philip Seymour Hoffman coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, we're back. Great show tonight. Stay tuned next week. We have some amazing guests coming up, including Halle Berry is going to be here, Tim Robbins, Gina Gershon, Louis Black, David Copperfield, Dustin Hoffman is going to be on the show. I've never met Dustin Hoffman. Man, this is a really good job. I can't believe I get to meet Dustin Hoffman. That's very cool. So,